Black said in a deliberate drawl. What else is new? What's new is that damn it, I'm doing it too. Is that we're all garbage mouths. I go back to L.A., walk in the door, and say to my dad, "Hey, asshole, how's it hanging?" And he'll have a coronary. The Black smiled. You got a point, Jeff. I talk like that, and Mom will have the preacher over with a case of Lifebuoy soap. I've got to remember, we're all going to be civilians. Clean-cut, upstanding American soldier boys who've done their duty to their country and all. The dark-haired man was still staring down the aisle after the stewardess. So she doesn't think Vietnam was all that airborne ranger, huh? I would have just said, it sucks. He lifted his glass. Like I heard somebody in a movie say once, departed friends. They drank. All three of them were more than a little drunk. The subject they'd all skirted for hours had been opened. You're sure about Atherton and Mills? Nebraska, real name Steve Applegate, asked. He looked to be the youngest of the three, but was the highest ranker. The 3 stripes and a rocker of a staff sergeant were sewn to his sleeve. On his left breast he wore 2 rows of ribbons. Sure about Mills. About 3 months after I wrote to his unit, I got a letter back. It was from his brother. KIA for sure. He told me the letter from his CO said he died of, and the dark-haired man's voice mocked officialese. Wounds suffered in an enemy ambush. He died without pain. Yeah, the black guy named Tyrell Harris said. Nobody ever kicked without a smile and a prayer on his lips, at least the way they tell it. The dark-haired soldier's hands unconsciously touched the single metal device on his left breast. A Combat Medic Award. Specialist 4, Jeff Katz. So what? He said. If you got hit, would you want anybody to know what it was really like? Hell no. Damn glad the Army went and lied about things when I zigged when I should have zagged, the black said. As stated, he was Tyrell Harris. Of the 3, he would have stood out the most, but not for his color. Like Katz, he was a Specialist 4. But he wore 3 rows of ribbons, including the Silver Star and Purple Heart. Above the decorations were paratrooper wings and the Combat Infantryman's badge. The overseas cap on the seat beside him had the round red-white-blue glider patch of an airborne soldier. He was related, in a sometimes roundabout and in sometimes scandalous ways, to a family that had fought in every American war from before the Revolution onward. About Mills, I don't know, Jeff said, returning to the subject. The letter I sent got bounced down to 193rd evac, then returned to me. You didn't have his home address? Course not. Don't know if I'd have written if I'd have had it. Who wants to know for sure? Better thinking he got a glory wound, went home, got out, and is chasing women up and down the entire state of New York. Yeah, Nebraska agreed. Better like that. They drank and refilled their glasses in the suddenly uncomfortable silence. You know, Tyrell said, ostentatiously changing the subject, I've been thinking. I could have guessed, Nebraska cracked. Smelled the wood smoke burning. Screw you, Tyrell said, giving Nebraska the finger. His lingo dropped into GI slur. First thing I do, when I get home and send this uniform off to the Salvation Army, I'm going to go out and buy me an M14. For Christ's sakes, why? Shut up. Going to get the whole damn thing chromed. Barrel, receiver, all of it. Get me a stock custom made out of teakwood. Uh-huh, Jeff said skeptically. I'm going to get me a little stand made out of marble. Then I'll put that rifle out in my mama's rose garden. Yeah, Jeff said. He couldn't help but be caught up in Tyrell's mad dream. And every morning, just when the sun comes out, I'm going to come out and piss all over the son of a bitch. The 3 laughed, then drank some more. Then Nebraska turned serious. He leaned across the aisle to Jeff. How well do you know San Francisco? Pretty good, I guess. I've been there 6 times with my folks. A couple of times by myself, before I became unattached to college. What's the best hotel in town? Jeff considered. The Mark Hopkins. My folks used to stay there. Or maybe the Fairmont. Thanks. Nebraska settled back.